This video is sponsored by Trend Micro. This is the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. It's not my first one. This is actually my second one, believe it or not. My first one got stolen. If you haven't seen that video, I'll leave a link in the description below. But getting these phones when they launch is so difficult for me. But I did because I was really interested to see if the return to the Note style of phone would be something I would be interested in. And yes, while this is an S series phone, it really is a Note if we're going to be serious about it. And I'll tell you, I was quite surprised by this. This actually completely caught me off guard. I expected to run around with it, play with it, and think it was okay, but I'm actually kind of really liking this one, and I'll tell you why. Right after this.
This is, you listening to Travis.
What up, players? Welcome back. And for all you new people, welcome. My name is Travis and I do tech videos every single week and have a blast doing them. And today I want to talk about the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra and how amazing it is for an iPhone user like myself to use this as my new smartphone. Maybe forever. So first of all, I'm not going to do like a regular review. So many of those have been out for the last couple of days, and some people have done a really great job. So I'm not going to rehash a whole bunch of things. I'm certainly not going to run down all the specs. You should know that. And if you don't, there's tons of other people doing that sort of thing. I'm just going to give you kind of my experience with what it's been like for the little bit of time that I've had this and why I actually think it's a very special phone. First off, obviously the look is a little bit different than normal with these camera bumps being individual. And if you probably have seen some pictures of this where lint kind of gets caught up in these rings. The one thing I have found to actually fix that is to put a case on it, and then it looks actually really nice. But I'm a case kind of guy anyway, so I was always going to get one. But one additional thing that it does is it keeps it so that when I put it down on the camera side down, it's actually flat, because without that, it's going to wobble. Those camera bumps are out there, and well, I mean, you're not going to use it face up for sure. That's not going to happen. But again, this is basically a Samsung Galaxy Note because it's got the squared off edges, it's got the S Pen, and it has that very wide feel in the hand. With even a thin case on it, this is a big boy. If you're not into big phones, it's not going to be something you're going to enjoy. But if you're used to larger phones, then this is not a big deal. I actually like larger phones, not just for the extra screen real estate, but the fact that it's just easier to read. I mean, and the watching of videos on this thing is pretty nice. Now, with the newest processor in this thing and 120 Hertz, this is one of the fastest phones I've ever used, at least using it in the OS. Moving through screens is ridiculously fast and actually a pleasure. And this might be one of the things that makes it so enjoyable to use. It actually makes it kind of hard to put down because every time I pick it up, I'm enjoying the experience I'm having with it. It reminds me of when I left my Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus and went to the OnePlus 7 Pro. That's the only other Android phone that I have left Samsung for. And I remember the experience being so fast and snappy and really enjoyable with that 90 Hertz display. I remember I was leaving a 60 Hertz display. When you get on this thing, holy monkey, it just feels so good. And it's those experiences that really make it a joy to use and make it something that when you pick up, you really just don't want to put it down. Now, it could just be optimizations. It could be that the processor is so fast. It could be a combination of that, the 120 Hertz, all the things. Whatever it is, it just makes this thing kind of addictive, and I've seen this echoed across other people who've purchased this phone. They're really enjoying the experience, and I just have to say, I am too. Now, of course, whenever you have something like a new smartphone, one of the first things you should do is secure it. And I have the sponsor that's going to help you do that very thing. Talking about internet security might not be the most interesting thing to do, but it is one of the most critical because you see, not only is your privacy at risk, but some of your financial information as well. So how do you protect it? Well, I have just the thing for you. Introducing the Premium Security Suite by Trend Micro. Premium Security Suite offers a complete device and identity protection across PC, Mac, mobile phones, and tablets. It's their most comprehensive security solution, protecting everything that you use, including ID security. Monitor and receive alerts if your personal information is found on the dark web. And then with a personal data search, it allows you to see if your email address, credit card number, passwords, bank accounts, or more have been leaked due to data breaches. And these things happen all the time. Trend Micro has you covered. Your data may already be out there due to a large data breach from one of the many companies that have been breached over the last couple of years. It happens all the time, and with the dark web monitoring, you're going to be in the know. If you're interested, there's a link in the description below and a discount. I got a discount for you, so make sure you check that out. And thanks to Trend Micro for keeping me safe and sponsoring this video. Now, this would just be another smartphone if it wasn't for the S Pen. This is the thing that really separates this phone from every other smartphone on the market. This, not just a stylus, but something that takes this phone to the next level. I talked a lot about this when I did the review of the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra recently, when I did the Amazon renewed version of that video, and I just talked about how that really separates this phone from everything else. If you've never used the S Pen, I'm not really sure if it's going to be the thing that's going to be the needle mover for you at first. You're going to have to come out of your kind of comfort zone and try to use it. It's just not something you even think about having. But once you've used it, once you have it, you never want to go without it ever again. Whether it be taking notes with the screen off or taking pictures or whatever, it just makes everything more simple, easy, and if you like to draw or anything like that, then it's so much fun. Just an absolute joy to use, and it's one of the biggest features of this phone that I think Samsung needs to remember to never get rid of. Never get rid of the S Pen, Samsung. Now, the zoom in on this thing is absolutely spectacular, whether it be in pictures or video. I have some examples, like here's one I was outside of the mall and I just took a ultra wide shot and then just kept zooming in. And I gotta say, even at 100x, this thing looked really good. Now, previously when they were doing this 100x zoom stuff, the end result was kind of terrible, but now it seems to be more and more usable. Now, are you ever going to use this? I don't know. It's one of those things where I don't think it's something you're going to use every day. I don't even think you're going to use up to 10x very often at all. Maybe if you're at a sporting event or something, but it's always nice to have rather than not have. I just would question whether or not the money and time that Samsung is actually using to invest in that feature is worth sacrificing other features that they could be, putting into the phone. Having said that, it's pretty darn great. And whether you're using video or pictures, like I said, the results are pretty spectacular. Now, I will say this, the video quality is really good. There's nothing wrong with it. It's fine, I suppose. There's really nothing super spectacular about it, but here, let me show you. And while the picture quality for me is absolutely insane, and I absolutely love it, and I think I actually prefer taking pictures of humans with it more than I do my iPhone, the video quality is also good, but I mean, it is what it is. And I don't think that I will actually use this over my iPhone for video. Well, I'm definitely not so blown away by it that I feel like I need to replace my iPhone. What I will say is the imagery of the camera itself, the still pictures, is pretty crazy. For example, the skin tone on iPhones have always bothered me. There's been something about it that just never felt right. Coloring just didn't seem exactly right. Well, this phone seems to have fixed that completely. And it doesn't seem like it's something that they've taken lightly or that it's accidental. It seems very intentional. A lot of the pictures coming out of this thing are actually beating pictures by the iPhone, which in a lot of ways was one of the marketing leaders in that particular feature. Now, of course, it's one of the easiest things to show the difference between camera pictures and even videos between an iPhone and a Samsung and a Pixel or whatever. And those are the type of the things that people put a lot of importance on. And normally I say it doesn't really matter. They're super close. All phones take really great pictures, which is true. However, I believe the imagery that comes out of this thing, especially when it comes to humans, taking pictures of actual people, is needle moving. And in my mind, I actually like these images better. Also at night, I saw some interesting results. Pictures look fine here, but the very first time I shot a video outside at night, this is what I saw. A lot of jittery craziness. I actually thought it was just some type of bug. But then when I reshot the video again, it actually seemed to work okay. So I don't know what that was all about. I don't know if it was just a fluke or whatever, but it happened, so I wanted you guys and gals to see it. One of my favorite features of all Samsung phones is DeX, and that never will ever change. I think it's such an amazing extra feature that a lot of people don't even know about, but it's such a game changer. To be able to do complete desktop work pretty much on your phone just by plugging in or using wireless DeX is something unmatched. Now, there are other manufacturers out there doing similar types of features, but Apple altogether is just not. They're just conceding this, and I think it's a mistake. That is one of the best features of any Samsung phone. And if you've never tried it and you do have a Samsung phone, you absolutely should try it. It's amazing. Battery life's been good, but here's the thing. It's really hard to give you any kind of indication of how long battery life is, and I almost never really do because my usage and my situation is definitely different than yours. Plus, since I've only had it for a couple of days, I can tell you right now that whatever I've already seen is going to be better as the phone figures figures out itself over time. In other words, it starts out okay and then it gets better over time. I'll just tell you that you're probably going to easily get through an entire day with this phone and get back to a charger before it's an issue. And maybe, depending on your usage, you can get 2 days out. Now, it's definitely not going to be as good as the 13 Pro Max, which has incredible battery life, but I believe this phone has more than enough juice for just about anyone's use. Bars. Now, should you upgrade to this phone? It really depends on what you have. I think if you're a couple generations behind, this is a safe bet. If you've never used the Note before, I think you should go check this out in person, like at your local store, Best Buy or whatever. I think it depends on if you are okay having a larger size phone. S Pen is definitely a bonus. I don't think it's the reason to buy this phone overall. I think it's just a nice to have, but the phone features, the speed, and the camera quality is wrong, along with the battery life, are. So I would say if you're on the Galaxy S10 or earlier, this is definitely something you should be looking into, whether it be the 22 Plus, 22, or the Ultra. These phones are amazing. But as I always say every single year, do not pay full price for a Samsung phone. Never do it to yourself. It's a complete waste. Within weeks of these things being released, they always go on sale. And it's funny because every year I say that, people in the comments say, no, they don't, no, they don't. And literally like 2 weeks later, they go on sale. And it happens every single year. And by the way, it's actually already happened, as Amazon has put the base level S22 $100 off with no trade-in. Now, early on, typically, in order to get a lot of these discounts, you have to trade in. And I guess my point is just never pay full price. Never pay the retail price. Even the Z Fold 3 went down to $1,000 within months of releasing, and that's just crazy. I don't believe you should ever spend over $1,000 on any smartphone that isn't a foldable. Just my opinion. Look for trade-in deals, look for sales. They will be out there. And if it's not on sale or does not have a good trade-in, just wait. Trust me. You'll get it at a great price. Now, if you're a Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra or anything like that, anything newer, I don't think it's really worth upgrading to. If you have the S21 and you wanted to go to Note, then sure, okay. But generally speaking, if you're within the last couple of years, you probably shouldn't worry about upgrading to this. It's great, again, unless you can get a great trade-in and you're just looking to get the newest thing. Otherwise, you can wait. So overall, this is the phone I would literally switch to from iPhone to Android. Let me just say that again. If I were leaving the iPhone, I would 100% switch to this phone. That is a very powerful statement because, like I said, I even just have used the S21 series of phones, the Note 20 series of phones, and as soon as I was done with them for the review, I just really didn't think about them again. But this phone is going to live in my head rent-free for quite a while. I really love this phone. But I actually want to do something else with it other than keep it myself. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do something with this phone that no one else on all of YouTube is going to do. So if you want to see that project coming up in a couple of weeks, hit that subscribe button, because let me tell you something, this phone is perfect for what I want to do. But tell me, did you buy the S22 Ultra? If so, leave me a comment below. Remember, that video is coming out soon, so make sure you're subscribed. And by the way, if you're new here, here's a video that's probably perfect for you. If you're not new here, I actually have a couple of videos that you probably haven't seen, but for sure, find out why my phone was stolen. I'll see you guys and gals next time. Peace and love.